Welcome back to Sask Place. We're still awaiting the start of the pairs competition, and for the first time in 3 years, we'll have a new Canadian pairs champion. And as you all know by now, it was the pairs competition back at the 2002 Winter Olympics that turned this sport upside down. It was a very difficult time for skating and a very difficult time for Pam Coburn to become CEO of Skate Canada, which just happens to be the largest skating organization in the world. Things have settled down a bit, at least enough for Coburn to take time out to sit down and talk about it with our Debbie Wilkes.
Pam, you're coming up to your first-year anniversary, and I must say it's been a baptism by fire for you, particularly following Salt Lake City and the issues that arose there. How in the world did you ever cope, and what did you do?
Well, it's been quite a year. We started, of course, I started as CEO on January 31st. And by February 11th, at the Salt Lake Winter Games, the crisis began. So I had about 10 days warm up in my new job to get ready for this year. And it's been unbelievable. It's been a time when there has been so much change within the sport. It actually has been probably the most healthy thing to happen, not the fact that there was a scandal and not everything that happened, but the outcomes that are coming out of this are long overdue. And, you know, we really embraced it and said, we've got to run with it. There's a window that's opened here. Let's go for it. Let's make sure that we can make this terrible thing that happened count for something for the future. And that's sort of been our mantra all the way through. And it started for me about 2 o'clock in the morning, February the 12th, when Benoit Lavoie called me from Salt Lake City. I had not arrived yet.
Benoit being the judge of the pairs event.
That's right. And from there, we worked to make sure that we could put whatever evidence that we could put forward for the gold medal. We did our part from that perspective. And then, of course, once that was secured for Jamie and David, then our next priority was to make sure that Benoit would be okay. And I must tell you, of course, this would be March or April, and here I am 3 months into my new job. The ISU doesn't know who I am. And here I am getting scathing letters from them saying that Skate Canada cannot intercede in the way it's choosing to. But we basically told them we have drawn a line in the sand. We feel we have to do this. And basically we agreed to disagree on a lot of things right from the get-go. But as it turned out, Benoit was fine, the right evidence came forward, and the right decisions were made at the hearing.
David Dorr, of course, now in a new position as Vice President of the ISU. How much is he involved still with Skate Canada, or is he? My understanding was that certainly at some point he was still a consultant.
When David first retired, we had... at the time, we had said that we were interested in having him do some work with us on a consultancy basis, but that was before he chose to go to the ISU. So once he chose to go to the ISU, we felt it was very important, especially when he's the vice president of figure skating for the ISU, that he not have that type of role within Skate Canada.
What are Skate Canada's plans for the future?
We have to make sure that the right people get to the top of the sport. And it's a tough and it's a very tricky thing to do. The area that we want to go in is to make sure that there is this level playing field. It's a concern to me that for whatever reason, it may or may not have been there in the past. Certainly there's the perception that it may or may not have been there in the past. And we want to really work at that. And we're working very hard with our elite athletes and coaches and officials to help us with that.
Pam, thank you so much for taking some time out of a very busy week here in Saskatoon. I wish you all the best. Congratulations and good luck for the future.
Thank you, Debbie.
It's Pam Coburn, CEO of Skate Canada. You heard her trials and tribulations, the baptism by fire, yet there aren't too many burn marks, really, considering the aftershocks of the scandal in Salt Lake City.
I think everyone, particularly in Canada, because it had been our pair, plus it had been Skate Canada who had been so forthright and instrumental in making things happen and in getting changes started, and certainly with regards to the proposed new scoring system, also a big part of that maneuver. I kind of thought, ooh, what's enrollment going to be like in Canada? But I'm happy to report.
Her job is kind of like being the owner of the Ottawa Senators right now. That's, you know what I mean?
Touchy. But anyway, skating is bigger and better than ever in Canada. The enrollment increased, so I think good things are going to come out of this.
And everybody wants to talk about skating, especially at the national championships, which are really completely different than the Worlds or the Grand Prix season, because there is this innocence, I think, about the national championships, particularly in the pairs event, which you're here to help commentate coming up, the pairs short program. And now with Salé and Pelletier not around, it's wide open for somebody to grab their mantle.
First time we're going to have a new titleist in several years. And, you know, always particularly when Olympic champions retire, you think there's going to be this big void. I am happy to report that is not the case. Jamie and David have left a very solid legacy
I thought you were going to say they're coming back.
No. They have produced some amazing situations. A year ago, when they were first training at the Royal Glenora Club in Edmonton, they were the one and only pair. You know how many there are now? 12. And in senior pairs, we're going to see several examples of that. Also, there was a real chopping and changing of pair partners this summer, and suddenly this wonderful gelling of talent has happened. And I think it's a result of Jamie and David looking for the perfect partner, finding that magic, and making pairs in Canada truly a wonderful future for them.
Well, with O Canada playing in the background, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the pairs short program and who will be the next Jamie Salé and David Pelletier. That's up ahead on TSN. Welcome back to Saskatchewan Place for the 2003 BMO Financial Group Canadian Championships Pairs Short Program in an era we now call ASP. After Salé Pelletier, who will be the heirs apparent? Perhaps Langlois and Arquetto? Christy and Chris Wirtz still skating. Chris, of course, is I think 45 now, or no, he's 33, but he's been to about 20 national championships. And they decided to come back and skate, and they have a shot here. And a couple of teams that have changed partners, and it will be interesting to find out how this shakes down, and if there is some pressure for that next team.
The short program is certainly all about who's going to land the side-by-side triple jumps. Although each of the 8 elements are supposedly worth an equal amount as far as the scores are concerned, there is no doubt in any skater's mind, particularly Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquetto, that side-by-side individual jump is the key, especially in the short program. To win, you've got to do it.
She had the flu bug last year at the Nationals. They just made it to the Olympics and the World Championships, but they have been the most impressive team after Salé and Pelletier walked away. Now they're training alongside the Olympic and world champions, former world champions, in Royal Glenora in Edmonton. They've moved west to train there, and they have had a terrific Grand Prix season. They're going to the Grand Prix final, as a matter of fact.
What an amazing amount of improvement in just about every area. The programs are beautiful, done by dancer choreographer Nikolai Morozov. But mostly it's the technical elements that have improved so much. They went right back to this drawing board with many of them, started over, and now are skating with more consistency, more confidence, and as a result are getting better placements. Element, the throw triple Salchow.
Wow.
She has enough time once the 3 rotations are completed to do a 4th, and we'll be looking for that with pairs from the future. Very tough for any team to skate first out of a warm-up, especially when you need need all of those 6 minutes to prepare for the side-by-side jump. Here it is, triple toe. Digging into the ice, looking for the speed that they've displayed all week, but it's not here tonight. Going into the hip lift. A beautiful lift, however, with wonderful ice coverage. Very confident in the position changes.
Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquetto. Third at Skate Canada, second at Skate America. Another third place late in the Grand Prix season earned them a spot in the Grand Prix final in early March in St. Petersburg, Russia. What a thrill that will be for them. They know that they are going to have those side-by-side triple jumps when that event comes around, and if they get to the World Championships, it still is the measuring stick for the elite teams in the world.
Absolutely. Each one of the teams here tonight and at the World Championships will have to do the 8 required elements in the short program. The lift is from a hip position takeoff. Only a double twist is allowed. A throw jump, either a double or a triple, but of course triple much more difficult and better rewarded. Solo jump, also triple should be required at this level. A solo spin, pairs combination spin, a forward inside death spiral, and a spiral sequence to round out the 8 required elements.
Well, they have again moved from Quebec to Edmonton, and if they are going to have the side-by-side issue, they're with some good company now. Jan Ullmark, of course, helped Jamie Salé and David Pelletier with their issues with the side-by-side triple jumps, and it won them an Olympic gold medal.
Annabelle and Patrice certainly have all the goods, beginning with that glorious throw triple Salchow, but then they seem to put on the brakes. You could see the monkey of the side-by-side triple jumps absolutely fall down on Annabelle's back. She simply did not get in the air. The rotation could not happen.
But make no mistake, this is a team right now, the team with the most momentum coming into the national championships, and above all, for the most part, healthy compared to last year. They've had a terrible run with the flu bug and with these little minor hurts along the way, and these are pretty strong marks. Keep in mind, this is the first team out of the chute.
Looking at marks out of 6.0, this is the old system, the one that we are used to, the ordinal system, majority rules. 9 judges, of course, in first place. They're the first pair to skate.
They may have momentum, but they don't have something that one team does have in the field. And even though they are on the comeback trail, they have 2 national titles in their portfolio. The family Wirtz still ahead at the Nationals. Well, on the ice, Christy Wirtz and her husband, Chris Wirtz. Last year, Chris's run of 17 straight national championships came to an end. The Wirtzes decided to walk away from skating and take up coaching, but they are back now, albeit for this season only. The reason?
We just felt that our whole relationship was surrounded with skating and our family, and we wanted to participate one more time with Brianna, with the whole feeling, and to see where we were. It's a challenge for ourselves. I mean, you don't just strap them on and say, yeah, we're going to win, or yeah, we're going to be third, or whatever. We put them on to challenge ourselves, to skate well, and to maybe have a moment.
Well, here's another reason why they did not skate last year. Brianna was being born, 6-month-old baby Brianna. Christy Wirtz is the mother of 2. And we must say hello to Tristan, who is watching tonight. Former national champions, 1998 and 99. And this is their comeback year. Looking for that moment.
They have been training this week with more attack, more precision, more consistency than I've ever seen. Let's hope they can put it here during competition. The side-by-side triple jump they have planned is a Salchow coming up next. Good one for Chris, a no-show for Christy. Hanging on to the throw triple Salchow. Chris's voice in the background giving direction for when the position and foot changes must occur. Side-by-side jump aside, they haven't lost their touch. Fast, determined. There's a new comfort with Christy's skating. It seems joyful. I know it's been hard work, but they're making it look like fun.
Missed the side-by-sides, had everything else. Not bad for someone who had a baby 6 months ago. Christy and Chris Wirtz at the Nationals. And coming up, well, we'll keep it all in the family, shouldn't we? Chris's nephew, Sean Wirtz, and his partner coming up from Saskatoon. Well, there is Chris Wirtz, wife Christy, Chris's brother Paul in the middle. Nephew Sean will skate in a moment.
Here comes the stickler part. Side-by-side triple sows, great speed and tremendous synchronicity going in, but Christy just bailed. There was no rotation there. Big deduction. Here back on track, however, for the throw triple Salchow, the same jump, but done from a throw. With those wonderful knees, Christy hangs on to the landing. And this one of their best elements, forward inside death spiral, long and lovely, a beautiful position, keeping speed throughout.
Not too many mothers of 2 competing at a high performance level in any sport.
I could get real grumpy about this, actually. Imagine the kind of work it would take to get back into shape.
She's done it.
Only 7 months ago.
Wow. Required elements marks 4.94850's 5.1. So the Wirtzes come back.
5-4.
And Chris says he's going to go to an Olympics again. He will go, but wants to coach.
5-4.
Presentation marks better. Currently, the Wirtzes are second. And the aforementioned Sean Wirtz, nephew of Chris and Paul. Most of the population of Marathon, Ontario is actually in this competition, the Wirtzes. That's where they hail from. We say hello to Marathon, where the Wirtzes come from on Lake Superior. And here's Sean with partner Elizabeth Putnam. This is a fascinating story, this partnership.
One of the brand new teams put together this past summer by Paul Wirtz and his team of coaches at the Toronto Cricket Club. Switching of partners, looking for that perfect match. Not necessarily line or style, but definitely character. What has made this team so interesting to me is that they are quite opposite in style. She is very classical. He is much more modern. And I think what makes the team so interesting is their differences. Both tremendous single skaters. I hope we see it here in their side-by-sides. Triple Sal's beautiful.
Now, if they can stay clean rest of the way, there is an opening with the other top-ranked teams missing their side-by-sides.
Look at the positions. Spins going slightly off at that point. Skaters changing their centering spots slightly. There's some beautiful stuff here with this young team.
They've only been together for a couple of competitions.
And only a few months. Given some time, some experience, this has got real potential.
Missed the throw. Able to recover before what might have been a bad crash. Will have their marks after this. Well, this would have been very interesting had this team skated clean with the side-by-side triples successful, because the judges, again, keep in mind, this is a very young team, might have really had to elevate this team. The throw, however, was off cue. Here are the jumps.
Side-by-side triple Salchows. Look at how beautiful the timing is matched. The position so perfect on the landing. During warm-up, the throw was absolutely breathtaking. They've chosen a much more difficult throw triple loop. Difficult because of the edge on the takeoff. A back outside edge on the right foot. nice height in the air, in fact, huge. But a little problem with the timing on the takeoff caused a tilt with Liz's shoulders.
Still
could not pull out of the landing.
Have to be very satisfied, though, for their first get at the Nationals. Required elements marks, 4.5 to 4.9.
4.9.
They took a hit. The side-by-side spins were slightly off in rotation. There was a bit of a struggle, I thought, in the lift as well, but some handsome presentation marks.
Yeah, this team in third place right now. Langlois, Arquetto, the leaders. Sean's uncle Chris and Aunt Christy are second, and that team third. More pairs when we return to Saskatoon in a moment. We are back live in Saskatchewan Place for the 2003 BMO Financial Group Canadian Championships. Nationals, always a special time of year. Final flight for the pairs short program. Right now, Langlois and Arquetto, the leaders. The Wirtz is second, Putnam and Wirtz third. No more Wirtzes to skate tonight, but we have some more teams. But first, here's Dave.
Thank you very much, Rod. And of course, that final flight will include the pairs team of Jacinthe Larivière and Lenny Faustino. This time 1 year ago, they finished second in the pairs competition behind Soleil and Pelletier. And with that title up for grabs this year, the Ontario-based skaters decided to take a very business-like approach to the year.
Lenny Faustino is very businesslike.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Jazz, as well, is very intense.
You start figure skating and it's your passion, you love it, that's all you want to do. And, you know, as you get older, you still have that passion, but, you know, we've been doing it for so long that, you know, to get up every morning and go skate is not always what we want to do, but that's why we have to treat it as a job.
Aside from her skating job, Larivière works in the Home Depot sponsorship program, while Faustino is furthering his business aspirations through school.
Lenny went to college the last couple of years, and he's been doing business courses. From there, he's taken a lot of those philosophies. That's what he takes into his everyday training.
The first time Lenny and Jacinthe applied business principles to their skating was last season.
The method I used to analyze our situation as far as business is concerned in skating was to use something I learned in an entrepreneurship class at Georgian, which dealt with something called a SWOT analysis. SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Their strengths are definitely, I think, the look of them. And in the last 2 years, they've started to come up with lifts that, you know, are very unique and original to them that you don't see anybody else in the world do.
Our weaknesses, of course, is our individual skating. Our opportunities that lie in last year was the Olympic team.
The only threats are, again, if you self-doubt yourself or if you haven't done the work.
We know what our weaknesses are. We know the opportunity. Like, we're aware of that. We know what we have to do to become better. You know, and by being aware of everything like that, it helps.
Their plan paid off. Lenny and Jazz were second at Canadians and made the Olympic team. This year, the SWOT plan is similar, but the difference comes under opportunities.
The Canadian title is open this year, so they definitely want to be Canadian champions.
We've done a lot this year to improve ourselves.
I know that if I just do my own thing, that, you know, we belong there and, you know, we're going to be great.
Well, emphasize the O in SWOT right now, an opportunity, because no one has skated perfectly so far here tonight. And Lenny and Jazz have a shot at being the leaders heading towards the free skate.
They were definitely considered ahead of Langlois and Arquetto last season. Finishing higher in both the Olympics and World Championships.
Things have changed a little bit, though. If you sort of treat this sort of like a stock market, Langlois and Arquetto were probably more momentum now.
Yes, I think Annabelle and Patrice's move to out west to Jan Ullmark has given them new inspiration. Lenny and Jazz still training in Mariposa with Lee Barkel, but producing what I consider two of the most exquisite choreographic pieces in the pairs competition. Seated there, we see Lenny's mom and his girlfriend.
Lenny's from the Lenny's from the Toronto area. Jazz is from Montreal. She's 21. He's 23. Great opportunity here. Again, the leaders, Langlois, Arquetto. And here we are in the final flight. Short program for the pairs at the Nationals.
The music here called Bubba's Revenge. The way Lenny describes it, in his own words, it's cool and suave about a two-timing sly cat and his gal heading out for a 1940s evening on the town. Follow along. Their lifts are the best part of their skating. Watch the height on this twist. Rotation solidly completed before landing. But here's the real important one, side-by-side triple toes. One big bobble, lots of little ones. Not the kind of skating that's going to win a Canadian title. Problems, yes, but still great delivery on the program.
Now critical for this team to bounce back towards the free skate. And where they will rank after the short program will be very, very important if they want to lay claim to the national championship.
Still under the old marking system, any team finishing in the top three after the short still has a shot at the gold medal.
Well, it was all out there for this team to move into first place, but you mentioned the one big bobble and a couple of little glitches will not do that for them.
I even thought Jazz may have put her hand down here. She did, touchdown on the landing of the throw.
It will be interesting to see if the judges pick that up.
This team has been working so hard, especially on the side-by-side jumps, but I add up a total with big and little glitches of about 0.6.
Many again. Now there are two young teams to come, and then a new team, a hybrid of a team from last year. Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton will skate last. Really, this is the team that has the best shot at being the leaders. Those are still pretty good marks for required elements.
The marks for presentation.
Considering.
A world-class team with a bad skate.
Presentation marks will keep them in second place, so the Canadian title is still within their grasp heading to the free skate. Langlois, Arquetto, the leaders. The Wirtzes fall into third.
Lenny and Jazz, I think, are in this position because of the brilliant program. Wonderful choreography.
Ryan Arnold.
Now the next two teams, by the luck of the draw, get to skate with the big teams. Carla Montgomery and Ryan Arnold, their second season together. They were last year's junior champions of Canada. Teenagers, the both of them, skate in Barrie. So here is a nice opportunity for this team to measure itself against the others.
Ryan also competing in junior men. He's got a busy week. Throw triple Salchow somewhat slow in its execution, but clean. Rhythm completely off in the side-by-side triple toes. Love the unison and the spins. This team is still age eligible for junior world competition. They competed this year on the junior Grand Prix circuit. Some different required elements, however, for that. Side-by-side jumps must only be doubles.
Well, as you know, the Nationals are not only about going for gold and getting to the podium and increasing your ranking, it's also about learning a lot about yourself, about your development, and that's what we see from this team. Last year's junior champions. We'll learn from this tonight. Try to get back here next year. Marks after this. The post-Olympic season, the beginning of an Olympic cycle. Quite a few themes throughout the next few days here. Tonight on TSN, the next couple of days on CTV. Jennifer Robinson's story, of course, the story in dance. Bourne and Kratz, really the lone champion leftovers, but what we're also going to see is we're going to see some young developing skaters who still obviously have to be polished a little bit, but getting a chance to skate on big ice.
Tremendous movement. It's a huge step to go from the junior ranks up to senior. And this team, Carla and Ryan, are doing both this year, taking a real chance to get further experience. I loved how they fought for the throw. I loved how they sped up the pair combination spin. They cranked it out and really represented the program that was designed for them by Kelly Johnson in a wonderful way.
And keep in mind, pairs champions, to become a pair, if you look at Sally and Pelche, and we're going to use them as a barometer, or Martini and Underhill, and Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, they didn't mature or win their world championships until they were in their mid-20s to late 20s, really.
It's all about learning who you are as a competitor, finding your way through the ranks, not only domestically in Canada, but throughout the rest of the world. You have to make a name for yourself.
Next competitors
To be 17 and 18 and doing this right now is
Michael Fowley.
Is pretty challenging. And here are another team of youngsters, Jenna DeBoer and Michael Fowley. They've only been together 1 year. They were 8th in the junior ranks last year. Jenna's from Winnipeg. Michael's from Calgary. They train in Edmonton at the Royal Glenora Club.
Coached by Jan and Cynthia Olmark and John Coggill. With such little experience, they show an enormous amount of sophistication and polish. Clean side-by-side double axles, not as difficult as a triple, but in the short program, certainly tonight, it's better to have done a clean one. Triple Salchow. Double. Decided in 2001 to go to a pairs tryout seminar put on by Skate Canada. Decided to give pairs a try. And here they are, senior nationals.
Jenna DeBoer and Michael Fowley. Senior National Championships first-timers, 8th as juniors last year. And we have one team to come tonight. Langlois and Arquetto lead. Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton will skate last up next. Again, luck of the draw. Tough for a young team to skate in the final flight. They do get a chance to get on television, of course. It was a thrill for them. But to keep it in perspective, the last two teams are not among the elite teams in Canada, but this experience could really bear some fruit down the road.
It's all about learning. And I think they made the right decision to do simply, well, I say simply, double axles are hard enough. Most senior teams, of course, doing triples. But they wisely chose the easier element to come out with a clean program. They also did a very excellent forward inside death spiral, so defined by virtue of the edge the woman is skating on. 3 death spirals normally skated by pairs, backward outside, backward inside, and forward inside. You see the occasional forward outside one, but not that often. They're pretty hard.
Michael's a busy guy and a smart guy, too. 4th year of civil engineering at the University of Alberta. Many of these skaters, I mean, you might hear the success stories of a Saleh and Pelche or an Elvis Stoico, were born in Kratz, who have also become pretty wealthy skating. These are kids, keep in mind, that are combining studies in skating, many of them also having jobs to put themselves through skating.
And I think it's really important, even for elite athletes, particularly those competing at the national level, to remain in school. You don't want to become a skating dummy.
And the last team to skate, Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton. Last year, Valerie skated with Bruno Marcotte, remember. They had a chance, and they did go to the World Championships after Jamie Saleh and David Pelche did not participate in Nagano. So that was good for that team then, but Valerie has combined now with Craig Bunton.
Craig hasn't had as much experience at senior level in pairs, but he's certainly done enough to feel comfortable and confident in this event. Also a good pair background in the beginning with a beautiful twist lift. They've got the speed. They are roaring around this rink. Set up for the side-by-sides.
Almost.
Out of the lift, right into the throw. This one a loop.
Well done.
Careful preparation for the spin. Nice position. Look at the stretch. One of the required elements is a really tough one to do, not just because of position and originality, but because skaters and teams tend to lose momentum and speed during it.
Well, another new partnership. Crowd liked them. Couple of glitches, but should be in the top 5. Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton. Final team of the night at the Nationals in Saskatoon. I guess even sometimes in life you have to go, you know, with different partners, and there's some musical partners that goes on. We've seen that. And there's the coaching troika. If you look at all those guys, said they look like the Men in Black, the coaching team. They're all wearing leather. You're into the leather mood. Look at them. There they are.
All they need is the sunglasses now. Maybe the dog.
But this is a team that Valerie obviously had to find a partner. Skated with Sean Wirtz for a while. Was with Bruno Marcotte and had some success. But this team right now has a lot of potential.
Very attractive team on the ice. Both very good skaters. They throw triple loop. Nice and high, a little scratchy on the landing. Valerie quite far up on the toe pick, losing a little bit of speed. They have worked incredibly hard, particularly Valerie on the spiral section. She has worked and worked and worked to stretch out those muscles. Craig's spiral, one of the best in the business. A very lovely section of footwork, but with so many spiral positions, very difficult to keep the speed up. They chose to go right into the forward inside death spiral out of it. An excellent element.
Craig used to skate with Chantal Poirier. In fact, they went to the Junior World Championships at one time. But again, magic doesn't always happen with one partner. You kind of look around at even all of the great World Championship teams. Those people started with different partners for most of the stories.
You learn. Certainly gone are the days, particularly in North America, where you begin and end your career with one partner.
Or of the same nationality, as we have seen.
That too.
Yeah. Good marks for Marcoux and Bunton. Forget top 5. They're in the top 3. They did have one second-place ordinal. So Marcoux and Bunton are third, Langlois and Arquetto first, LaRiviere and Faustino second, and the Wurtzes in 4th position. So the free skate to decide the new national champions still ahead, and advantage right now to Langlois and Arquetto and some of the other teams that skated earlier tonight. And here is Dave Randorf with one half of the leading team. Dave.
That's right. Annabelle was up in the stands watching, so Patrice has been down here, and we're going to talk to him about being in first place heading into tomorrow night, looking for your 3rd straight podium finish here at the Nationals.
Yes, actually we're feeling good. The program felt good. Just one element that was bad, and it was Annabelle falling on the triple toe, but all the rest of the program felt good, and going into the long run in first place, you can ask for more, so we're very happy, and we're looking forward for tomorrow.
You train at Edmonton around Jamie Soleil and David Pelche. You spent some time with them over the holidays. Did they tell you anything, give you any advice going into this Nationals with a title up for grabs?
They said go for it and be relaxed and just do what you usually do, and everything will come into place. And right now that's what we did, and that's what we're doing every competition so far. So everything is working well, and hopefully everything's going to go well tomorrow.
Well, congratulations on tonight's skate, and good luck tomorrow, Patrice.
Thank you very much.
Jamie and David also probably said, beware of those judges. No judges from France here, though. These are the Nationals, and these are the leaders. Langlois and Arquetto, tonight on TSN.
What's there to celebrate about life in Canada?
Celebrate ice, trees, determination. Celebrate hard work that pays off.
Canada wins the gold! Come celebrate a great year with us at Ford dealers from coast to coast.
For a limited time, no payments for 99 days, and receive an exclusive Wayne Gretzky collectible.
As regret would hurt if I hadn't tried at all.
Near the South Saskatchewan River, the city of Saskatoon playing host to the Nationals again. Last time was 1991. Pairs competition was eventful that year. Remember, Huff and Ledre had that terrible fall but still skated. And tonight, Langlois and Arquetto the lead, and a good story, the Wurtzes. Here's Dave.
With Chris and Christy and Brianna. And first, we got to start with you, Christy, because I know there's viewers across the country, especially the women, saying, how in the world have you done it? And gotten right back into game shape, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I miss skating, and I miss the training, and luckily in our rink we have a gym that's right there, so that really helped a lot. And we missed it, and we enjoyed doing it, so.
And you came off the ice. I know the competitive fire still burned because you were upset after that skate.
Yeah, well, I'm really mad because I haven't missed that for 2 weeks now, and it's my best jump, and I just didn't turn it, so. But, you know, it's only .2 of my life, so it's okay.
Quickly from you, Chris, did this feel any different? I know you've been here countless times, but after the year off?
No, actually, it felt great. I was comfortable. Christy and I, everything else was fine. I mean, it wasn't 100% like practicing, but that's not practicing. So after a little mistake and coming back, hitting the throw and skating clean after that, I mean, a short program's a pressure cooker, and I thought I was back in the delivery room.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to diapers. Christy and Chris back at the Nationals. Nice to see them back. And we'll be back after this. Day one. I guess it's not really day one because they had qualification, but day one for us, certainly. And I guess in a post-Olympic year and the beginning of the Olympic cycle, we're going to see some mistakes. We're going to see less than perfect performances and maybe even some nerves with some of the pairs teams that want to grab that vacant title.
Well, suddenly when the leaders or who you think are going to be the leaders start opening a few doors for you, the tension backstage it's almost like a heartbeat. You can feel it back there, and that tends to create a whole bunch of extra things that people have never really planned for. You know that they're going to be there. A lot of these teams, even those that are not so experienced, go through all kinds of simulations during practice, and the wise coach will try to imagine the worst possible scenarios. Injuries, accidents, change in order, all of those things contribute to a good skate, but it also contributes to nerves.
Well, I also think that it's if you saw perfect performances all the time, we wouldn't know how difficult this sport really is. This is not easy stuff.
No, it isn't. And I think you got to look a little further down the ladder and see not just the seniors that are skating and those juniors that have moved up, but we had some terrific skating in junior pairs. The junior pairs having completed their event, and there was some bright young stars in there.
And this is the bronze medal winning team. Again, we should tell you that they have been skating all week here in Saskatoon. This is Amy Collier and Christopher Richardson. She was born in Grand Falls, Newfoundland, and he was born in Regina. They live in Cambridge. The silver medal went to Lindsay McCausland and Christopher Davies,
who had a fabulous skate, by the way. They were in third place after the short program. Some people felt could have become the champions. They skate a shorter free program than the senior pairs, but in the short program have the same 2 minutes and 40 seconds and very similar required elements. These are the teams of the future.
They thought they won it. They thought they had it. But the gold medal went to Jessica Dubé and Samuel Tetreault. 15-year-old and 17-year-old are in the record books now as the junior Canadian pairs champions.
And as if competing in pairs wasn't enough, Jessica was also competing in junior ladies. With winning the junior title, this team will have to move up to senior next year. You were only allowed to compete in juniors for 3 times. They knew they had not skated perfectly. A little relief on those bases.
Yeah, that's not quite the celebration you would think, but a sigh of relief when they were able to eke out the victory. So there are the junior pairs champions, Dubé and Tetreault, McCausland and Davies, and all of the others. And that is what the Nationals also is very much about, the juniors and those stars of tomorrow. And we will have more from the junior champions.
Another eventful night here at Sask Place as people jockey for position in the women's competition and in the pairs. And we had some youngsters as well, some new faces trying to step up on the national stage. Nicole Watt from Melfort, Saskatchewan. Injuries just too much to overcome this evening. High fives all around as Jennifer Robinson guns for her 6th national title. And a couple of old veterans with their newest daughter looking on as well. On behalf of Rod and Tracy and Debbie and our entire crew here in Saskatoon, good night. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's sports leader.